Okay, let's continue with yet another question. Question number 22. Okay, so there we go. Yes, that's the question. Now, this question is beautiful. Why I love this question is because it tests your understanding further of what we did yesterday. Yesterday we did variance analysis, and this question also has got variances inside. So please, as you do performance management or management accounting, see how these topics are connected. Pricing, variances, budgets, working capital. It is just one thing discussed at different levels. So let's go. There we go. Madam Emma, are you there?
Yes.
Okay, good. So there we go. Okay. So here, Madam Emma, we want you to be able to help us identify the easiest question. See, every time you're doing questions on pricing or any other topics, always go with the Lusambo way, which is simply the free way. So we've got two questions. We've got required. We've got this calculated price you should have charged for the phone, assuming that it wished to maximize the contribution from this product. Okay, and then we have part B, and then we have part C, and then we have another part. You see, I don't know where we are going to start it from, but Madam Emma, when you analyze the questions, which one should we start with?
Let's start with C.
Part C. Okay, what does part C? Okay, part C there. Okay, there we go. Part C, there's a story there. The exam gives you a story, of course, blah, 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 blah. And after that story, the examiner does this. The examiner tells you that briefly explain. Briefly. When the exam tells you briefly, be brief. All what the exam wants to do. When the exam tells you be brief, it's not the time for you to show yourself that you have data. No, just be brief. Briefly explain absorption and marginal cost approaches to pricing. Oh, this is good. 10 marks. So this is 5 marks. Then discuss the validity of the comment. Any price that exceeds variable cost is better than no work. Okay, even this one is a free mark because any price that exceeds variable cost is better because it gives you back all your costs and a little markup, a little profit on top. It's not bad. So let's go. Part A. Number one, what is the marginal costs? Or what is absorption costing? No, absorption costing has been known to be, yeah, you could have talked about things like this. Number one, absorption costing. This kind of costing is traditional costing. This one is the traditional costing. Now here, I want to mention that traditional, the costing of production has included a fair share of overheads. Now, this is justified by the argument that all production overheads arise as a result of production, and so each unit produced should incur some overhead costs. This may include both variable costs and the fixed costs. So if we are to explain what absorption costing is in relation to marginal costing, we would mention that an absorption costing basis is the traditional way of costing. But you know, I don't think like we are still explaining what it is because we're simply saying it's traditional, it's traditional, it's traditional. So Madam Emma, I give you the ball. What is absorption costing system? What is it? So the best way to explain is to explain how it is done in terms of pricing. How do you price using absorption costing system? Hello? So here, under this one, what we do here, you simply get the full production cost. You see? Full production cost. Now what do? You simply add margin. You add a margin to arrive at the selling price. That is absorption costing system. You get the full costs. The fixed over. Remember when you're doing variance analysis, you remember when we're doing variance analysis, operating statement, absorption costing principles, what were we doing? We are simply getting all the costs, all costs plus fixed costs. Are you seeing? It's the same thing here. You know, do we simply add a markup or margin to arrive at the selling price. Now, by adding a margin for profit for the full cost of production, the sales price can be calculated. This is what we are simply referring to in other words as what? As the full cost plus pricing. So when you see full cost plus pricing, they're simply talking about the absorption costing system. The one we did at first, which ignores blah, 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 we already discussed this one area. You remember? We discussed this one in our earlier session. We said it ignores the demand for the product, it ignores the possibility of price being changed because it assumes that the fixed costs are equal at all levels of production. It also ignores a number of things we talked about earlier. So the question just comes, we're just going to be brief about it, we won't go into details. Then marginal costing principles, just remember standard costing when we were talking about it yesterday. What did we say here? Because marginal costing system is even much more simpler and easier than absorption costing system. Easy to use. But what the examiner is interested in, they want you to know when these costing systems are suitable. So you have to know when they are suitable. When are they used? So, Professor, anything about marginal costing system that you can say, you can talk about? Here, we simply this one values inventories using what? Using variable costs. These things are similar. Are you guys there? I can't hear you. It is very quiet.
Yeah, I was saying marginal cost is the one which puts in consideration of the variable cost.
Yes.
And it doesn't
excludes fixed costs. Have you seen?
The fixed.
Excludes fixed costs. We will not waste time on this one because these are easy stuff that you can just go on and look at them. Let's go to the rework. So that was a very easy 10 marks. Oh, there's another one. There's the last part before we go to the rework. There's a statement that discusses the validity of this comment. That any price that exceeds variable costs is better than no work. What does that mean? What does that mean? You see, a price based on variable costs reflects the marginal costing approach to pricing. In short, have you seen that? So here when we say any price that exceeds variable cost will at least offer some contribution towards fixed costs. But in the long term, this approach is not sustainable. You see, the price must at least cover fixed costs for a profit to be made. So this price is simply covering what? It's simply covering variable costs. It exceeds the variable costs. Okay, the variable costs, we have our contribution. So we have selling price is 20. Let's say selling price is 20. Variable cost is 18. We have our contribution of how much? Our contribution of 2. You see? So this price exceeds variable costs. It is better than no work, yes, in the short term. But what will happen in the long term for a fixed cost of 5? That means in the long run, this price will not give us any profit because for this price to give us a profit, it must be higher also than the fixed costs. It must cover the fixed cost also. Yes, that's what it means. They are saying the price is 20, which is a good thing. The variable cost is 18. So that means you have a contribution of how much? Of 2. But what if you pay your fixed cost also of 5? It means this price is not covering for what? For fixed costs. So in the long run, you won't have what? You won't have profit. There will be no profit in the long run. It will be 0 profit. Okay. Okay, so now let's go back and look at other things. So see how I've answered. We've not said it's a bad thing. We've said the good side of any price that exceeds variable cost, but also we've explained what can happen in the long run. In the long run. So in the exam, don't be the judge. Just give a fair comment and move on. Let the examiner be the judge. Anyway, examiners love being judges, so nobody cares whether the examiner is happy or not happy. We don't give a care. So let's go to part number A. Here's another easy 7 marks on part A. Yeah, we've been told on part A that calculate the price that TQ should have charged for the phone, assuming that it wish to maximize. See? Maximize contribution. You see? And then they've given you if price A minus BX, then marginal revenue is A minus 2BX. Okay, the example just reminds you here, in case you have a short memory, that marginal revenue is given by this. And then price is given by that other. So it was such a nice examiner, reminding those who have amnesia. I don't know if it's amnesia or dementia, whichever disease makes people lose memory. I don't know what it is, but I've been hearing of such names. Madam Emma, ni amnesia or ni dementia? Where people lose memory. Is it amnesia or dementia? Which one? Hello? Memory. So let's go. Let's work out the question. So as you know, always our struggle is to finding out. Okay, there we go. So let's work out some things here. Here we're going to maximize profits and contribution at this point where the demand function is A minus BQ, but our maximum is going to come at where MC is equal to MR. Always remember, it never changes. Very important thing to remember. You use this equation to find quantity required. Remember that. So now look at this one. What is our budgeted production? We've been given things for the period there. We've been told that TQ manufactured and retails second generation mobile cell phones. The following details relate to blah, blah, blah. We've got budget selling price of 60, variable cost of 25, fixed cost of 10, and then we've been given the period 1, 2, and 3. Then we have the budget production, which is 520, 590, 650, fixed overhead volume balance. Yeah. You see? With this balance, with that balance, and that balance. And then the examiner tells that there was no change in the level of inventory during any of period 1 to 3. Okay. The body of directors had expected sales to keep on growing, but instead they appeared to have stabilized. This has led to the adverse fixed overhead volume variance. It is now the start of period number 4. Okay. And the board of directors is concerned at the large variance that have occurred during the first 3 periods of the year. The sales and marketing directors have confirmed that the past trend of sales is likely to continue unless changes are made to the selling price of the product. You see, remember yesterday we talked about trends. Further analysis of the market for the mobile phone suggests that demand would be 0 if the selling price was 100 kwacha or more. Yes, so the examiner was so nice, even gave you the price at which demand is equal to 0. So for us to maximize the price, what the price should be, we need the equation, we need this guy, but also we need this guy. Now see, our P will be equal to A has been given as 100 to us, minus B. We don't know B. B is simply the change in price over the change in quantity multiplied by the quantity. But we don't know what B is because we have how many periods? We have 3 periods. We have 1 period, 2, 3, and what we are looking for is not for all any of these periods. This data is just been given to us to help us look for what? Period number 4. Have you seen? So we need the 4th period right here, period 4. We need period 4 right there. You see? Because these 3 periods are done. So what's going to help us to go to period 4? We need to see the change. See the inventory, the change is constant. So some of these things, you don't even need a lot of technical knowledge. You just need to see. See, the examiner has told you inventory has not changed for the first 3 periods. See, 520, 590, 660. What is the difference here? The 70, the 70. So if you put 70, we are going to, what are the production in period 4? What will be the production in period number 4?
It will be 730.
730. Have you seen? Now look at the balances. They are moving also by 700. See? 700. See? 700. So what will be the balances in period number 4?
3,300.
Have you seen? Huh? Now, the actual production is going to be something like this. See? Since the fixed overhead volume variance is adverse, it means the actual production was less than the what? Than the budget. Have you seen? By 1.2. But this 1.2 is in money. We need to convert it back into units. But one thing we know that every unit has got a fixed cost inside it. So we're going to get the fixed cost per unit and divide into this figure to get the number of units. So the fixed cost per unit is 10. Divide into that. How much do we have? 120. Have you seen?
Mm-hmm.
So that means 120, we're going to remove from 520. So actual production was how much? Was 400. You see? We also divide by 10 there. We are going to have 190. 190, when you remove from this one, we are going to have 400. Here by 10, we'll still be able to have how much? 260. 260, when we remove from that figure, we're going to have how much? 400. So that means that even here, when we bring the 10, we are going to have 330, of which when we less from that figure, we are going to have 400. So that means the change in quantity is constant. We just have 4. So if you're the type that wastes time, you can start now doing change in quantity for period 1, you work for period 1 alone, you go for period 2, period 3, wasting time. Well, you can waste time all you want, but I'm not going to be the one to do it for you. So what we do, we are going to go to the sample way, which is simply the free way. We are simply going to say B is simply the change in price over change in quantity. What was our price? Our price, what's our change in price? Has there been any changes in price?
60 minus 100 minus 60.
See the first price, very good, Professor. 60 was the first price. And then we changed from that figure to that guy, the 100. So we have 100, 60, 200 over change in quantity, which is simply 400. You see? So now you have 40 over 400, which gives you how much? 0.1. You see? So because I'm such a nice man, I'm gonna just put this one more nicer in the exam. I should present it to the examiner to look more neat. You could have done something like this, could have said period here. You see, you put period 1, then you put period 2, you put period 3, and then you put period 4. And then the other thing you could have done, you could have brought the budget. You could have brought the budget there. And then you could have brought what? The variance. You could have brought the variance. And then you could have brought the, apart from the variance, you could have also now brought the difference. and then you could have brought the actual production. So the budget here we had 520, then we had the 590, then we had the 660, and then we have 730. So the variance was 121926, and then we ended up with the what was our last?
3.
So what we did, we divided all these guys. We divided by 10. We divided by 10. We divided by 10. We divided by 10, and then the difference here was simply 120 units. Here we had 190 units. There we had 260 units, and there we had 330 units. So what we actually did, we simply got this guy, we removed from that 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 guy, such that we went from there, from those guys, we were now able to get the 400. We're now able to get our 400. We're now able to get our 400. We're now able to get our 400. See, that's what we could have done in the exam to just make it look a bit better. And now we know that now our B, our change in price over our change in quantity, we have our B, which is simply the from 60 kwacha to 100 over from over 400, which simply gives us 0.1. So that is B. So now we can make our equation. So our equation will be something like this. Will be P will be equal to A minus BQ. You see? Now we have our equation. Now remember what we said? We said we maximize profit at the point where MC is equal to marginal revenue. So we're going to say our MC will be the variable cost. What is our variable cost? The examiner has given us our variable cost in the question already. There we just have to go
25.
There we go, 25. Yes. So we get our 25. What do? We simply insert a 25 there. You see, isn't this question beautiful really? This was a beautiful question to test your balances also. So we have our 25 there, which will be equal to marginal revenue is there's an equation which is simply A minus 2BQ. What is our A? Our A has been set to be 100 minus 0.2Q. So there we are going to have 0.2Q will be equal to 100 minus 25. So we have 0.2Q, which will be equal to 75 over 0.2Q over 0.2. Oh, no, not Q, but just 2 over 0.2. So what do we have there? So the quantity required to maximize profit will be equal to how much?
375.
375 units. Nishimwaria. Have you seen that? Now, here, the price required now, we get our original demand function. So now the price required to be P will be equal to A minus BQ, the normal demand function. So P will be equal to what is A? 100 minus what is B? 0.1 multiplied by the unit now is 375. So 100 minus, when you multiply that, is going to give you how much? It's 7.5. 37.5. So the price required is supposed to be how much? Supposed to be 62.5 kwacha per unit. Pricing is easy. I must mention, pricing is easy. I'm sure you're able to see now that this is important and this is easy to work out. So all you have to remember this guy. This guy is key. Okay, let's go. Let's move on to other parts of the question. Okay, so what do we have? We have another part of the question here. This part is part B. So part C is done, part A is done. So we've got now 7 marks, and part D we got our 10 marks. Part C, now we are in part A. Part A, there we go. TQ is currently developing a third generation mobile phone. It is a state-of-the-art new handheld device that acts as a mobile phone. You see, it's a new product which they are developing. Personal assistant, digital camera, blah, 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 and music player, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, every phone has music nowadays. So the board of directors seeks your advice as to the pricing strategy that it should adopt for such a product. Have you seen? It's a new product. So at this point, you are thinking skimming. You see? You are thinking skimming, you are thinking penetration, you are thinking premium pricing, you are thinking this price discrimination, etc. The number 2 will be told the company has incurred a significant level of development costs, and it recognizes that the technology for the product is advancing rapidly. You see? And the life cycle of the product is relatively short. Oh, the life cycle is short. So this product has got a short lifespan. It won't be there forever. So prepare a report addressed to the board of directors that discusses the alternative pricing strategies available. You see, you do not need to include the full cost and marginal cost plus pricing strategies, as these are tested in part C. See? So in your answers, the exam even tells you don't bring the full cost plus pricing and the marginal cost. So just bring other pricing strategies. So let's go. Let's pick out things. This one is a new product with a short lifespan. Are you seeing it?
Yes.
So you write a report here. Let's go. Let's do our report. Just in case you've forgotten to write a report, this is how you write a report. We're going to say report. And then we're going to say to board of directors. Obviously, it's supposed to come from somebody. This time from Emma. Now, see, you don't say from Emma. You say from who is Emma? Emma is an accountant. Are you the management accountant? Management
Yes,
accountant.
management.
Yeah. Don't include your name there. Just say from, if it's from Emma, the management accountant, include that, whatever. And then also, obviously, there's a date. So we're going to put today's date. What is today's date? What's the date today? 21st? Yakawa 21.
Yes,
21st July. So it's 21. There's no 21, there's only 21st. And then you have the subject. Okay, what's our subject? Our subject, Madam M, what's our subject?
Pricing strategies.
Oh, yeah. Pricing strategies. Yeah. Pricing strategies, alternative to blah, 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 blah. So what do you do? Number 1, you advise with market skimming. Market skimming, we've talked about it already a long time, huh? So we're not going to talk about it here. Number 2, you underline another one, market penetration, which we've talked about already. Number 3, you can bring what we're going to call premium pricing. What Angry Lion does, huh? Those girls from Angry Lion, when you go to buy, they have a way of making you pay more for the same service. They tell you, especially when you are with the wife, they think it's just a girlfriend. So they ask you, sir, large or medium? Large is nice. So for large chips, you're going to just say, you give me the same chips. There's nothing like large or medium. It's the same potato. You see? So when you hear the word large, you see, you pay more. Have you seen? Have you seen? Because you are thinking your chips will be bigger than that of the other person, when actually it's not even true.
Doing that.
Huh? That's what they do.
It means that we always go for large.
Yeah, that's what they do. You see? No, for large you pay, you add the so much. So there's nothing, they still give you the same. That money, we don't know where it goes. So premium pricing. And then there's also another type of pricing. You know, you can talk about price discrimination. Price discrimination, blah, blah, blah. And then you can talk about, anyway, let's discuss these ones. So market, we've talked about it. Scaling, we've talked about it. So premium pricing. What is premium pricing? Now, premium pricing, this strategy would just simply involve highlights. Simply the product state of that features as a differentiating factor to justify a premium price. So just tell you, no, by Samsung Galaxy, the same Samsung Galaxy S20, and then they tell you S20 Plus. You see, just like a minor difference to distinguish the what? The price from the S20. Price discrimination. Okay. Now, here a different price for the product will be charged just to different groups. Have you seen? Of buyers. For example, we could charge a different price if the product were bought online. The price charged in the retail outlets. So those are just the kind of. But sometimes even price discrimination does not signify the quality. The quality may be the same. You simply go to Woodlands, you sell my car, or not even my car, maybe my car is better. You go to Woodlands with the same packet of cooking bottle of cooking oil. In Woodlands, you sell the same bottle at 30 kwacha. You go to Kanyama, the same bottle is going at 15 kwacha, half the price. Same item, different prices. Those guys who buy Salaula, when they go to Woodlands, they go to Kabulonga, you find the same shoe in Kabulonga is 350. The same shoe in the city market is how much? 25 kwacha. Same shoe. So this does not signify pricing. So please, I mentioned earlier, know the different pricing strategy. Now, because we're talking about pricing strategy, let's talk about them. We can talk about, apart from these ones we've mentioned here, we can also talk about we can talk about pricing strategy. We can talk about this one. Because not we already started, so let's just finish up with these strategies, then we can go to another question. So we can talk about here. We can talk about also, there's what we call price bundling. Price bundling here is an habit of getting an aggregate. An aggregate of what? Of different products. If you have a ShopRite, when it's Christmas time, they get soap, they get cooking oil, they get cleaning detergents, they get different kinds of stuff, maybe even juice, a container of juice, a bag of mini meal. They put them together and then they tell you to only pay 300 kwacha. But when you buy them one individually, you're going to pay 370. So it is simply price bundling. To charge a lower price on what they call event combo than buying them separately. Then there's what came in the exam, psychological pricing. So you can talk about psychological pricing. You can also talk about different kinds of pricing strategies that are there. Prestige pricing. Prestige, where when people go to Woolworths, Woolworths? People think things in Woolworths are very much strong. Actually, there are some dongolistic products in Woolworths, lots of them. But because of the brand name, people think when you buy from Woolworths, it's going to last. Have you seen? So things in worth are expensive. So some people link pricing with quality. Have you seen? They think the higher the price, the higher the quality, which in most cases may not even be true.
What about this one, which PEP does charges
What does PEP do?
29.99.
Okay, even that
That
one.
is, that is
29
psychological.
psychological also. 29.9999999. You see, it is simply 30 here. So you don't care so much about the 0.99, but in the end, it is simply as good as 30. It's just the same thing. But let me angasha the pamano. Just playing on your mind. Somebody tells you give me 60, you say it's expensive. But you go to PEP or whatever shop you may go in, you find that it is at 59.87. You buy. You see, but in the end, these two mangoes, when put together, they are lots of money. So this marks the end of our pricing question. So I'm going to give an assignment, and we can move on now to another question called another topic called relevant costing. So I'm going to need you to do question number 23. You do this question. Question number 23 as an assignment. And also do question number 24. Assignments. And also do, okay, question number 25. So we have 3 assignments, 3 questions. Question 24, question 25, 23, 24, 25, these are assignments. So we've done about 3 pricing questions, and we expect you to be able to answer any pricing question. So remember, before we go, as I mentioned, I'll also be able to give you more theories to do. As I mentioned that you must know, okay, we also are going to do a question on a life cycle pricing, but not just today. We'll do a question on life cycle pricing. Life cycle pricing is one of the easiest pricing methods there is. I think we've touched it a bit, but I have a question which I'm going to give it to you so that you should do it. Yeah, and then we're going to discuss what happens at T. Remember, we talked about introduction stage, growth, maturity, and the decline. Those 4 stages of the life cycle of a product. So you at one time read on the 4 stages of the life of a product. What happens at each stage? So each one of you should write a report and submit to me before class, not tomorrow, because tomorrow you're submitting the 3 assignments. Before class, tomorrow is Wednesday, on Thursday. Okay, so do the life cycle of a product as an assignment. So now let's start with relevant costing. Thank you very much for joining me. So just tune in to our next session on relevant costing in the next few minutes. Those of you online, stay tuned. Relevant costing is about to start.